Welcome back from that short break. Quite an interesting break that we had now, but of course the talk must continue. We're talking about policies, we're talking about foreign policies, and we're talking about the Orange Basin as well. Before we went on a break, Mr. Steinman, you did elaborate on, that Namibia owns part of it. South Africa owns a large part of it, but it starts in Lesotho.
Yes, it does.
Let's just go with the flow.
I wouldn't say the bulk, but a very large part of the water in the upper Orange originates in Lesotho.
Yeah.
And if I say a very large part, I mean very substantial, because there is a canal and there's a tunnel from the Katsi project, the Katsi scheme in Lesotho, that runs into the Vaal River, which feeds Gauteng. And Gauteng, as you know, is the biggest industrial commercial complex in Africa.
Yes.
So Gauteng is a thirsty customer. It drinks a lot of water, but that water is extracted long before it gets to us. I think the important thing for us, we have about 400 kilometers of the lower Orange River, of which we use a very small portion for diamond mining, a small portion for zinc mining, but the biggest extraction that we do is for irrigation, for agriculture. And if you drive around there and if you look at the land next to the Orange River, provided you cultivate the right crops, we can increase the area under cultivation tenfold. Tenfold. We have really just scratched the surface. There's just one catch. The Orange River Valley, because it is so low, the difference between the plateau and the valley is so big that it is renowned for going to 50 degrees Celsius. Not every day, but fairly frequently in summer.
Okay.
So grapes and peaches and bananas and that sort of stuff, they like hot water and they like lots of water, weather and water, but they don't like 50 degrees Celsius. But those are all practical issues that we can solve. We've got the water there. We are using some of it, but we do not have a policy in place with South Africa and Lesotho. How are we going to share it? As a matter of fact, and I don't think many of the young generation know this, according to South African legislation, the Orange River does not belong to Namibia. The international border is the northern bank. In other words, all the water in the Orange River belongs to South Africa according to their laws. And I worked on this about 10 years ago. I talked to people in the South African government, and they confirmed to me, according to the way that our law works, the Orange River does not belong to Namibia. But you will remember that the relationship between us and South Africa is very close and very good. I mean, otherwise Walfish Bay would not have reverted back to Namibia. So how long it's going to take to change that law on the South African books, on the law books there, I do not know. But that is a matter of foreign policy. We can only change that if we engage the South African government. So if our Ministry of International Relations set up a task committee, a working group, to start working on that, because we have to come to some sort of agreement, so that at least for that 400 kilometers of the lower Orange River, that we have a equitable distribution of the available water. Now remember, earlier I said for 8 months of the year you could walk through the Orange River. It wasn't a very big river, but when it was in flood, it was a monster. So those dams that were built in South Africa and in Lesotho, they control the flow of the river. And today, it is throughout the year, it's perennial. It is a fairly decent, if I remember correct, I think it is about 30 cubic. Don't quote me on this one, but it is comparable in size to the Kavango River because the flow is regulated. You know, the Kavango River, I think, is more stable, more consistent, but we've done that in the Orange River with the dams. Point is, nothing will happen. No dam will be built in the lower Orange River unless there is agreement with the South African government. Nothing will happen unless the policy on which this is based is accepted by both parties. And remember what I said about the way the law in South Africa stands, even now, up to today? They don't regard us as the owners of their water. They regard it as a favor that we may extract some of it at Ausenkeer and for the limited irrigation along the river. But unless we change that policy, unless we agree, every year there is going to run a couple of billion liters of water underutilized or unutilized into the sea at Oranjemund. And we can, by implementing the right policy, by agreeing on the policy, we can develop that lower part of the Orange River to the benefit of the people in the Karas region tremendously. I mean, it's the biggest wasted opportunity that we've got, all that water just flowing away.
Yeah, and I certainly hope that, the people that are sitting behind the desk making up these policies, that they will listen and, also invite you for talks around the table, Mr. Steinmann. But also, thank you so much for taking me back to my school years, because I think I heard words that I last heard in class on school,
Okay.
Back in the days,
Good.
Geography. But thank you so much, and thank you so much to our listeners. And of course, we'll meet again next week, same time, same place. From me, Elsie Dimiani, Mr. Steinmann, and the team, we thank you.